Welcome to another installment of Deconstructing Babylon, where we discern the signs and symbols of the mystery religion of Hollywood Babylon. I'm the Discerning Clerk, and I use a biblical framework to deconstruct my favorite movies from the 90s.
Noticed your eyeglasses. They don't have any lenses in them.
They're my dad's. The lenses hurt my eyes.
Before Messiah ascended to the right hand of the Father, his disciples asked him what the signs would be of his return, because there will be signs. I'd like to encourage you all to read the books of the prophets, because they wrote more often about Messiah's second coming than his first, and they all wrote about the signs of his return. Lately, I've seen several modern-day Christian prophets and influencers saying that the rapture is happening, or ought to have happened on September 23rd or 24th. So I guess if this doesn't come out, I was wrong and they were right, and the church has been raptured. However, Messiah's instructions to his wondering disciples were not to be deceived. Don't be deceived by the lies of the false prophets. In case it's not clear, I don't believe in the rapture. The Bible says that the tares are gathered first, before the wheat. I definitely believe we are living in the last days, though I don't think I will be alive when Messiah returns. We were made for the earth, and the earth for us. Heaven is made for the Most High, the rightful King of all, and his angels. Hell is made for Satan and his angels. The righteous will inherit the earth. But this is also why I started this channel, to expose the lies and plans of Hollywood Babylon, because far too many have been deceived by the rhetoric it puts out, especially during and since the pandemic of 2020, which brings us to today's selection, Outbreak. Released in 1995, Outbreak garners 4.5 stars from the Video Movie Guide, which says, top-notch thriller stars Dustin Hoffman as an army doctor battling a devastating virus and government cover-up, each of which threatens to wipe out the population of a small town. Featuring a first-rate supporting cast, it's edge-of-your-seat entertainment of the first order. Rated R. Let's just get right into the movie and see what we see in Outbreak. The movie starts with a quote from a Nobel laureate that speaks to the threat to humanity that is the virus. The first image we are shown is a dense jungle, peaceful until gunfire explodes, which quickly takes the lives of armed soldiers on both sides of the battle, interspersed with quick shots of a monkey screaming into the camera. This scene, we're told, is the summer of 1967 in a mercenary camp in Zaire. Several of the men are sick in bed.
30 men dead yesterday. 18 the day before.
2 people in full hazmat protection are there with a cure of treatment, hopefully. This virus is highly contagious, spreads quickly in the body, and is 100% deadly.
Mother of God, I'll authorize an immediate airdrop, Doc.
But while the men on the ground expect an airdrop of medication, what they get is something else entirely. Cut to almost 30 years later, and the military-sanctioned Center for Infectious Disease Control in Maryland. Inside the secure facility, there are 4 levels of viral biohazards being studied, with the highest level being deep underground, requiring high security clearance, dealing with viruses that have no vaccine or known cure. In this highly secure, highly contagious environment, we meet our main army doctors, Sam Daniels and Robbie Keough.
Isn't this your last day?
Yeah. We cut to a kitchen with a black and white checkerboard floor, which is always a pointer to a Freemason temple that has the dual checkerboard floor. As we move through the home that seems partially packed up, we find out this home belongs to our hero, Sam, who is busy bathing 2 large dogs. The opening credits haven't finished rolling, and we've already seen lots of symbolism. A dog in a movie means God, using the occultic law of reversal. Since there are 2 dogs, and a breed known for its helpfulness in saving human lives, it can point to pantheism, or they are twins, pointing to the twin pillars Boaz and Jachin in a Freemason temple. Sam gets a call regarding a level 4 contamination in Zaire again.
The World Health Organization is preparing a team, but I want you there first.
After the 2020 disaster, I think I trust the World Health Organization as much as I trust NASA. Sam visits Robbie, and we learn more about their clearly strained relationship. Sam has moved out of their shared home, and Robbie is also moving away.
What are you going to be doing at CDC?
Sam and his team prepare to fly to Zaire to investigate the level 4 infection. We meet Casey, who's on the team, and General Billy Ford, who has ordered the mission. Along for the ride is newly minted Major Salt.
No, sir, but I'm fully trained and highly motivated.
Back in the same location we opened in, the team deploy in hazmat suits. The scene is gruesome and horrifying. Burnt bodies everywhere outside and lifeless hemorrhage bodies inside. Something I noticed here, as opposed to the opening scene, is that none of these virus victims look to be U.S. citizens or members of the U.S. military. They seem like locals, so it's unclear why U.S. military doctors have inserted themselves or how they even have jurisdiction here.
Isolate them! Isolate them!
Don't worry. It's not airborne.
We learn a bit more about this virus, but not where it came from, only that it kills 100% of the time and very quickly.
This is a punishment.
Back at home, Sam sounds the alarm with General Ford, even though he's admittedly been wrong in the past. Sam insists this virus is so deadly and would decimate the entire Western world should it get out of Zaire. The team get to work researching the virus they call Motaba.
Mr. Motaba, up close and personal.
We meet another sinister military official, General McClintock, and we learn these two are the ones responsible for wiping out the Zaire camp almost 30 years prior. But the exact virus strain is back. It's survived the firebomb, or simply lay dormant all these years. These two men have a lot to lose, so General Ford takes Sam off the case before he figures out this isn't a new virus after all.
The odds of Motaba causing us any more problems are about 1,000,000 to 1, and you know.
As a boat carrying a monkey that happens to be the host animal nears its location, we get a brief shot of the Golden Gate Bridge. Now, I know this bridge is still standing today, but I believe this is predictive programming, and like the Twin Towers on the East Coast went down, the Golden Gate Bridge is almost certainly another target. The African monkey is absconded with by Jimbo, who will be patient zero in the States. The monkey wastes no time spreading his fluids throughout California. After she spits on Jimbo, another monkey takes her half-eaten banana, and the host animal also scratches pet shop owner Rudy. The fact that Jimbo wears a shirt with a skull and crossbones should not be lost on us. And hell is really about to break loose because Jimbo sets this infectious animal into the wild in a strange environment.
Yeah, it's freedom.
Jimbo boards a plane and he really declines quickly, getting visibly ill. He arrives in Boston, where he shares a kiss with his girlfriend, and then passes out. The pet shop owner, Rudy, back in California, also passes out and is taken to hospital where doctors rush to save him. The threat is now bi-coastal. In her new position at the CDC, Robbie gets wind of the Boston victims, so she goes out to question Jimbo.
Jimbo, were you in contact with any animals?
Unfortunately, Jimbo succumbs to the virus before he can tell her about the monkey roaming in the California wilderness somewhere. Robbie gets on the phone with Sam, both regretful the higher-ups won't listen to the alarms raised by the experts.
God, this thing moves so fast, Sam.
Sure, it moves fast, but that's good for us. At least we can see it. Nobody gets sick within 24 hours. We're in the clear.
This feels like the opposite of COVID. This was the narrative and severity they pushed through the government and mainstream media. Yet the worst symptoms people got from COVID was a bad cold and losing their sense of taste for a while. And I'm sorry, but you can never convince me anyone actually died from COVID. They died from comorbidity, COVID treatment, and subsequent vaccine injury. Meanwhile, back in California, an infected lab tech goes to the movie and the virus is now airborne. Suddenly, people all over the small town of Cedar Creek start dropping like flies.
Doctor, she got sick really fast, Doctor. I thought it was the flu.
And while the virus is contained in Boston, the people in Cedar Creek aren't so lucky. The CDC is notified and Sam is desperate to lend aid. General Ford tells him it's a civilian matter, and they don't have jurisdiction anyway. But they had jurisdiction in Zaire? Okay.
General Ford called me 0200, told me to get my ass to Cedar Creek, California. Didn't you get the dispatch?
No, I've got you going to Albuquerque.
Sam defies direct orders to go to Cedar Creek. He will not give up researching what he believes is a new virus. Meanwhile, General McClintock has ordered out Army reserves to put a lockdown on the small coastal town, and he's ready to firebomb the place at a moment's notice.
Cedar Creek is a small town, Doctor. We're like a family. Everybody's scared. I don't know what to tell them.
Sam liaises with Robbie, and they quarantine the numerous victims until they learn this very deadly virus has mutated.
It's airborne.
The team examine the samples and observe the spike protein, and this all seems very familiar.
So I think that the host animal is carrying both strains.
Robbie rushes to the pet store in order to track down the host animal. Meanwhile, the people of Cedar Creek aren't taking too kindly to the Army forcibly confining their small town. Sam confronts the general he disobeyed and avoids arrest with new information.
I know what I told you, but now I'm telling you we're facing a new strain.
The lockdowns in Cedar Creek tighten, and residents are then confined to their homes. When terrified people try to leave, they are killed, which seems like a reasonable response given the severity of the virus. But have they communicated any of this to the people, to the residents of Cedar Creek?
Military have escalated the quarantine at Cedar Creek, doubling their presence in the small town. Authorities remain silent about the numbers and details of the situation, continuing the media blackout.
The treatment they are bringing in and administering en masse is labeled E1101. And General Ford says it's an experimental anti-serum.
I figured it might be worth a try.
I read the journals. I haven't read a word about E1101. Where'd you get it, Billy?
They bring this sick monkey from the pet shop and test the treatment on him to see if it actually works or what it's really doing. They continue to test the residents who have symptoms, and there are so many infected, they set up a field hospital at the elementary school. The team works around the clock without much sleep, and that's when mistakes happen. Casey is the first to make such a mistake when his suit rips open and he's exposed to Motaba.
What happened, Casey?
Oh, nothing. I just got a sudden case of the wheelies, you know.
General McClintock presents his solution to the White House at a chief of staff meeting. The estimations are a national extinction event within 48 hours.
Be compassionate, but be compassionate globally.
It's for the greater good, right? The administration is genuinely considering wiping out the town, despite the media blackout and the secrecy in Cedar Creek. Meanwhile, the host animal is roaming the woods in California and eventually comes to a house, threatening to spread the virus outside of the contained town.
1918. Remember your history, Donnie? The great influenza pandemic? What if there were men who could have stopped it? Only they didn't.
Because there's more money in pharmaceuticals, in vaccines, and keeping people sick and scared. The team learns that E1101 works to treat the sick monkey, who they determined was infected with the original strain, not the mutated strain with spike protein. And because the treatment works, Sam deduces that the anti-serum isn't experimental at all.
This is no experimental anti-serum. E1101 was designed to kill African Motaba. And they had it all the time.
Suddenly, Casey falls down and begins seizing. As the team work to treat him, Robbie gets stuck with his tainted blood sample, and now she's infected as well. Sam confronts General Ford again, knowing he had an effective treatment before the virus mutated.
And we could have stopped it right then and there, but we don't because we have to protect the perfect biological weapon.
General Ford defends his actions and reminds Sam that there's a distinct line between the oaths they took as doctors and vows they took as soldiers. And they've crossed that line now. The town is slated for a clean sweep.
2000 hours by order of the president.
The team finally gets a good lead on the host animal, but they need to be careful to investigate in secrecy. Sam warns Robbie about the impending disaster set for Cedar Creek.
Sir, I think we should go very soon, like right now.
There is also urgency because General McClintock has issued a warrant for Sam's arrest. Sam and Major Salt steal a helicopter to track down the lead on the host animal, which brings them to San Francisco. and a few more shots of the Golden Gate Bridge. They finally learn of the ship that brought the carrier monkey into the U.S.
I'll get you close enough, Colonel.
Close enough for what?
Close enough to jump, sir.
Once on board, Sam has trouble communicating with the crew, but they do understand Doctor, and they have a dead crew member, the man who was in close contact with the host animal.
There's our host.
Meanwhile, Casey is near death, and Robbie is on her way. So she comforts her friend with some physical touch.
Would you please hold my...
Armed with military might and a picture of the carrier monkey, Sam and Major Salt force their way onto a local news broadcast.
The animal that's carrying the Mataba virus is a monkey.
The picture is seen by the right person, a woman whose daughter has known interaction with this dangerous yet friendly monkey. Sam and Salt get to the residence where the monkey has been seen, and the army is also in pursuit of the two fugitives.
Betsy can help make everybody better because she's got this medicine inside her, and that's what makes her very special.
While Sam is trying to capture the monkey for its antibodies, the U.S. Army is preparing to roll out Project Clean Sweep. They manage to tranquilize the animal before there's any more transmission and head back to Cedar Creek to manufacture a cure.
Sam, you may run into some resistance on your way back.
Because General McClintock intends to arrest Sam and Salt as war criminals. After a thrilling helicopter chase and some fancy maneuvers, the rebel soldiers evade capture and continue on to their destination.
Sir, there's no sign of wreckage. We've been decoyed.
Salt gets to work right away to create a new anti-serum, and Sam visits Robbie on what should be her deathbed. But he's confident the cure will come in time to save her and everyone else still breathing. But I guess it's too late for Casey. Once General McClintock realizes he's been tricked, he pursues what seems like a personal vendetta and orders the clean sweep anyway, despite the cure being manufactured and administered.
I picked up a transmission. The plane is in the air. They're coming, Colonel.
Sam and Salt get back in the air to try to talk down the incoming aircraft.
What you haven't been told is that your superiors have another agenda. Don't you understand that right below you in Cedar Creek, there's a biological weapon that they've been manufacturing illegally for the last 30 years?
In a final game of chicken in flight, thousands of lives and the cure for Mataba are at risk. In the end, the bomb is dropped into the ocean rather than on Cedar Creek. Surprisingly, there's no tidal wave or tsunami that wipes out the town anyway, but then there wouldn't be a happy ending.
For the record, I am relieving General McClintock of command for the crime of withholding vital information from the President of the United States.
The movie ends rather unceremoniously as Robbie recovers and she and Sam seem to reconcile their relationship. And the final image is Sam's goofy face. The word virus in Latin means or has meant poison, particularly from snake venom. As such, I believe we can trace the first virus all the way back to the garden, when the serpent spewed his vile venom into the ears of Adam's wife and infected her with sin and death. Now, obviously, the villain in Outbreak is the deadly virus Mataba, meant to parody or mimic the hantavirus. But so much of what was presented here is what officials wanted us to believe about COVID. It was thought to be just as deadly, an airborne virus that would certainly kill everyone. There were several differences, as there must be. In this case, the virus originated from a monkey in Africa. In our case, they told us COVID originated from a bat in Hunan. In this case, the cure was manufactured in a lab, not from the host animal. In our case, the virus itself was actually manufactured in a lab, but the vaccine came just as quickly, as if they had it all along. Finally, in this case, the media was blocked out from having information on the seriousness of the virus, but in our case, the media was used to perpetrate the fear-based campaign. Sam said over and over again that Mataba was kept secret in order to use it as a biological weapon. But that didn't seem like the case, since the virus came from an unknown animal and the anti-serum came from the same animal. When it came to COVID, both the virus and vaccine were manufactured in a lab, both used as a way to control the world's population. There were a few pointers I found to the secret society, the Freemasons, but one I didn't mention until now, and that's the town of Cedar Creek itself. C is the third letter of the English alphabet, and CC is used as code for 33, the highest master level of the Freemasons. It seems like they kept this virus contained to this small, controlled area. This is where the virus originated, and it's where the cure was manufactured. It has their Masonic fingerprints all over it. And Sam and his team are all pawns. I'm sure you also noticed the duality between Sam and Salt, the last two standing. There was also duality between the generals Ford and McClintock, with the latter being the real villain here. So I have to assume it's a Babylonian counterfeit. McClintock was depicted as a serious man who seemed to have no mercy, yet I didn't see his plans to use Motaba as a biological weapon, as Sam claimed. He didn't speak at all about E1101 the way Ford did, so perhaps he didn't know about it. His plea to the president is what he thought best in the wake of a terrible, deadly virus. And when given the information about the cure being manufactured, his vendetta turned more personal, wishing to wipe out the rebellious soldiers who were putting the entire country at risk. In the end, General Ford should have been taken into custody for his crimes against humanity and potential treason for withholding the cure from the beginning. As always, these are just my opinions, and I entreat you to know the word for yourself and never just take my word for it. Thank you for enduring to the end. Give the video a thumbs up if you agree and a thumbs down if you disagree. Comment below what you think I missed with this one and to suggest any 90s title you'd like me to deconstruct in the future. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more content like this, but don't follow me. Follow the one who saves you. And until next time, keep looking up.
What have I ever done to make your life miserable, sir?
You got up this morning, didn't you?